Alien Covenant is the sequel to Prometheus and the prequel to Alien, which is the sequel to Aliens, which is the sequel to Aliens 3, which is a sequel to Aliens Resurrection. Sounds like a lot of movies because it is. The film stars Michael Fassbender as David and Walter, both synthetic androids created by a corporation for different purposes. Catherine Waterston as Danny, Billy Crudup as Christopher Oram, and Danny McBride as Tennessee. Yes, just like the state. Spoiler alert, just in case you haven't seen this movie yet, this movie revolves around being a hybrid of both traditional alien plot formula with some Prometheus lore from the 2012 film. The film's strength surprisingly comes from the lore of the 2012 film, which remains so polarized by fans. The 2012 film was an experimentation done by Ridley Scott that angered a lot of hardcore fans for some reason. In all honesty, I was really interested in the engineer storyline since it carried a lot of religious themes to it. I really liked the idea of a crew trying to find their creators and facing the consequences of that journey. Alien Covenant unfortunately had to do a lot of things, and it really didn't impress me as much as the previous Alien movies, which are very hard to kind of go over. The xenomorphs didn't really scare me as much as they did in the first two Aliens films, and the biggest reason is because we've seen too much of them at this point, because they were so lit so well at near the end of the movie, and so when we see the full body of the alien, it just becomes unscary for some reason. As for the creation, I feel like the Elizabeth Shaw and David storyline mixed in with a bit of the Alien storyline was a bit rushed. We were told about Shaw's death and got some disturbing imagery of how she died during this movie. However, there was not enough to really it kind of just neglected her character development and just saying she just died. So it just sucks to not see how that relationship kind of formed near the end of the movie, despite, of course, David talking a lot about her in a very good light and saying, in fact, that he loved her. The flashback scenes of David killing the people on the engineer's planet was a wild scene, but it would have been handled better if we knew more about David's motivation throughout the film. We got some of his motivation early in a flashback opening scene with him and his creator, but we didn't see him till 20 more minutes into the movie, and even after that we saw more xenomorph action than build-up of his own character. I did like the interaction between David and Walter, however. The two very similar but different androids were at odds for most of the film, and Michael Fassbender just steals any scene he's in. Another standout was surprisingly Danny McBride. He felt very down to earth and also very human, no pun intended, from poking at others and joking around to fighting with himself about taking the ship down. His character really had a lot of motivation throughout the entire film. He was unsure of the significant others, like fate, if she's alive, how the crew is down there. He really was thinking about them in that sort of light, despite him having to hold 2,000 plus people on his ship. And although the movies like this require characters to act a little foolish, his character had a lot of motivation to fly the ship further down. The film was also shot beautifully well with the very real looking sets. Ridley Scott is what you'd like to call an anti-George Lucas because of how little green screening he does. I feel like his mindset is the less green screen we use, the more real the film looks. The film just looks gorgeous with its cinematography and the very unique looking sets, from the Prometheus ship to a lot of the other stuff that we see on the Covenant ship as well. Just a very good mixture of both Prometheus and traditional alien set design. The weakest element was definitely the plot and how it had to jumble so much into one script. The film was very much an action adventure film with horror elements, but falls short on both categories in other alien movies, which is unfortunate. The first Alien by Ridley Scott was a great horror movie set in space, while James Cameron's sequel was a fantastic action film with the same aliens. This one just falls in the middle of being good or bad. Lots of missed opportunities and a lot of just rushed elements into this, but a fantastic action film, I feel, with aliens. So again, some of the characters' decisions were done for the sake of the plot, but it didn't keep me from enjoying the film overall. This film is worth a watch if you're expecting a good blend of Prometheus and an alien film. Plenty of action, but if you've never seen Prometheus, you will most likely be lost in the lore and the backstory. So that's my thought on Alien Covenant. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of this film. If you've seen it already, if you haven't yet, go and watch the movie and come back and let me know. Subscribe for more awesome videos here on Real Talk. Thanks for watching.